The City of London, the square mile of high finance and big business, is tonight playing host to a group of lawyers, bankers and journalists who've come together to work on a rather different deal from usual. A performance of Handel's Messiah to raise money for West London Church's homeless concern. Under the expert guidance of conductor Andrew Sackett, they've just under 10 weeks to complete the task.
Can I first of all welcome Chris Duckett, who's playing the piano? And Gloria Moore. Okay, it's the first chorus that we sing, and let's just sing the chorus through and see how we get on. The audience, you. And the glory of the Lord. Messiah is actually quite a demanding work. And people might think, oh yes, we know it and everybody knows the Hallelujah chorus, but it is actually rather more difficult than it appears.
For me, a lot of it is hard. Singing it as a bass, some of the runs are quite difficult. But we've got a lot of experienced basses, so it's certainly not all depending on me.
This is the first time that this particular amalgamated group has done the Messiah, and I suspect it's probably the first time that a good majority of them have performed the Messiah at all, from what I see. Right, that was great. That was really good. Everybody else here had that one? That was good. Well done out here. I'm sure that some of the individuals in the choirs might be a bit apprehensive about this, but I have total confidence that they'll pull it off, and that's actually my responsibility to make sure that they do know it and that they are fully comfortable when they're coming to do the performance. You need to get used to singing on my beat, and I can tell you now, in the church there's a little bit of a distance, so we've got used to just trusting me to watching. For the mouth. It's going to be like bell-like, this bit, okay? Straight in the letter B. 1, 2, 3. For the mouth.
The concert's being organised by City Music Services, who specialise in multi-choir fundraising events such as this.
The focus always is the 2-hour rehearsal, where one of the firms hosts that rehearsal, everybody else comes in together to enjoy, have fun doing it, they look forward to the next one. It is about the journey, I'm very big about that. It's a mixed choir of varying levels of ability. We have very experienced choral singers alongside, people who might be holding the book the wrong way up. I think that's one of the joys of this sort of work, which I love enormously, is that we have to manage that
Not being a regular choral singer, it's quite difficult to follow, and particularly where you've got the score for sopranos, altos, tenors and basses all together, trying to follow your line. And as I'm turning over, going from one page to another, I'm never really quite sure what's coming next. That's quite tricky.
Well done, very good, excellent, well done, well done.
It's a great opportunity to bring often rival firms together. Everybody's under huge amounts of pressure with their work, and this is an antidote to that. So we can't pile on the pressure, but at the same time, the clock is ticking, and we know within 6 rehearsals we have to get up to a certain standard, and that will happen, without a doubt.
That's it, okay? Fine.
This is the first time we've raised money for West London Churches. It's a new charity for us, and it's great to support them.
Have any of you ever heard of West London Church's Homeless Concern? That doesn't surprise me at all. We get no money from the government. We therefore fly completely under the radar. If you were part of London's rough sleeper population, and obviously none of you are, and I hope none of you ever will be, you would know all about us, because our night shelters would be your lifeline this winter. If you'd been trafficked here and you were afraid to talk to anyone, or if you had been abused and you were running away and you were scared that you might be sent home, if you had mental health problems or drug or alcohol problems, you had nowhere else to go, you know all about West London Church's Homeless Concern. We are the biggest winter night shelter for the homeless in London and in the country. No one knows about us because we get no government money. We raise all our money from nice people like you doing things like this. You may find it hard to believe, but what you do that night will literally save lives this winter. So thank you very, very much indeed from everybody at West London Churches. We're grateful.
The most important bit is to raise money for the charity itself, but because everybody gets something out of it, it's a win-win situation for me.
See you next time!
Singing is just a fantastic thing and everybody should do it.
Well, that was a very encouraging start. I thought they were singing really well, and we have a nice turnout for this rehearsal, and so this all looks very good for the performance.
2 weeks later, the group come together for their second rehearsal.
Can we turn, please, to page 98 of the starters? 1, 2, 3, 4.
So you have these wonderfully long passages with sort of very intricate counterpoint. I sang for 4 years as a choral scholar at Cambridge, but I haven't. This is my first time doing it all the way through, and it's a treat.
As well as different levels of ability, Andrew's also used to dealing with different types of production, having worked with all sorts of people during his varied career, from cathedral choirs and opera singers to the Osmonds.
Okay. 1 and 2. I'm hearing people go bird done. Okay, it's not a burden. It's bird done. Okay.
I'm a soprano, and it's tricky. A lot of it is incredibly high, so you really have to think about technique, or your voice just gets hoarse by the end.
So that's 1 and 2. I think it's just a question of not knowing where it was.
It's very difficult harmonising with all the other parts. You have to really focus and just keep counting and looking at your part when it comes in.
And 2. Well done, this is tough movement.
When you do something you're really enjoying and you focus intensely on your concentration, you get in the flow, and that's sort of proven psychologically to be really positive for your overall well-being. And I just find with the choir, you concentrate really hard, you forget everything, and you just finish feeling just really positive and relaxed.
Challenges for the basses are that a lot of this is actually quite light and lots of short, more staccato rhythms. And it's not stuff that basses generally get. One of the things that's most fun about the piece of music, to tell you the truth, is it's so incredibly different.
Working with City Music Services, Andrew's led amateur choirs successfully through a number of big performances, from Carmina Burana to Fauré Requiem.
That's great, it's sort of explosive moment now. Good. Little phase and 1, 2, 3. To receive power and riches and wisdom and strength.
He has high expectations of the choir, who strive to meet his exacting standards.
Let's see if we can shake the second part of those off even more. Wisdom, power. I just heard wisdom. That's not what we want. And wisdom. Okay, so I think we're doing really well. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Chris, for playing. 7 weeks away, so yes,
the mind is being focused, I think, now as we get nearer.
Despite the choir members' busy schedules and with Christmas fast approaching, the rehearsals continue to have a good turnout.
I think people enjoy singing in large choirs for all sorts of reasons. One is they get the opportunity to perform these large-scale works, but also there's a social side to this. So it's like going along to any club in a way, and they meet people, and they have it's a sort of social scene as well as a singing experience.
City Music Services have their own choir, and I take part in their concerts. We do 3 a year. Some of the rehearsals we do are involving lots of different firms, so you get to network and meet people across the city, and it's a good social part of my weekly routine.
Singing actually releases endorphins, it gives you a feel-good factor, and as you know, just singing on your own in the shower or something is one thing, but when you start singing with a group of people, and particularly singing with a large group like the choir for this event, you're then part of a big experience.
What a great noise you can make, despite the fact that each of you individually may not be, Pavarotti. One of the great things about singing with a group like this is that we always do things for charity, and it's fantastic to be working for West London Churches, who giving some of the people who are on the streets some shelter and some comfort and just some food and some life at the most difficult time of the year.
Just to update you, our shelters open next week. So when you start your rehearsal next week, there will be 50 homeless people standing outside our shelter, having their cup of tea. By the time your rehearsal ends, they'll all be in, they'll be eating dinner, and then they'll be bedded down for the night. So that is what you are helping pay for. So thank you very much again for what you're doing.
I can't imagine what it must be like to be homeless. I've seen homeless people at the side of the street and felt very sorry for them, and I think you begin to wonder what you can do for them. So the very fact that we can raise money for such a worthy cause as the West London Churches is of a greater satisfaction to us. I hope that we will be able to raise enough to help these people through this winter.
St Luke's Church in Chelsea is the venue for the concert, and their own choir will also be taking part. They're rehearsing tonight, ready for the occasion.
The atmosphere in St Luke's Church is incredible when you've got a packed house.
This isn't the first time that St Luke's have come together to support West London Church's homeless concern. In fact, every year we get together and we visit our local pubs and occasionally restaurants and sometimes the hospitals and sing carols for the people there. Specifically at this time of year, it's even more important to remember the gap between those of us who are lucky enough to have a warm, comfortable house and a Christmas together, and those of us who don't have that.
As the last preparations are made, the performers meet for the final rehearsal. For most of them, it's their first chance to see the venue.
I've never been to St Luke's Chelsea before. It's absolutely wonderful, and to think we'll all be here again in 2 days' time, doing the actual thing, all dressed up, hopefully warm, will be absolutely wonderful. So looking forward to it.
It's always a great buzz coming up to a performance because so many things can happen and it's so exciting.
I'm in the lucky position to be able to lead people and help their aspirations to be part of a big group, to be part of a choir. That's quite exciting in itself, because when you're standing in front of a group of 100 people and you've managed to get them to sing in a certain way, I get a lot of sort of energy back from that.
It's perfect acoustic, no carpet around, which is a singer's curse, any carpet. There isn't a big echo here, which is often an issue in big churches and cathedrals. So it's terrific, and I'm convinced that we'll get a sellout, which is very exciting.
Handel wrote the Messiah in 24 days, little knowing of the enduring appeal it would have for generations to follow.
Good, okay. As we got into it, we got better.
In the choir, there's going to be a real buzz, and I'm hoping that the audience is going to have a similar feeling. I think with a full orchestra and the soloists, who are always absolutely stunning, it's going to be a marvellous evening.
The big day arrives.
After the rehearsal this week, I was absolutely freezing, and I got home and I got a hot water bottle and I got into bed and I snuggled up and I thought, now I know why I'm doing this tonight, because if I had to sleep on the street, well, I wouldn't survive. I don't know about you, but I was so grateful for being warm. So let's hope we make lots of money and lots of people can get benefit from it.
Every penny of ticket sales will go directly to helping homeless people in West London, but they need to sell all the outstanding tickets on the door in order to reach their target. It's looking hopeful.
I can't wait to see this kick off this evening. I can see that a lot of work has gone into this, and I'm sure it's going to be a huge success.
Most choirs, you're rehearsing for sort of 3 or 4 months solidly before a concert, and this, we've maybe had 8 rehearsals, and for the quality of what we're producing, this is a talented bunch of singers, along with a very talented conductor who has actually got the best out of us. I think this is going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm really psyched for what's going to happen.
The National Symphony Orchestra lends its weight to the performance, along with 4 acclaimed professional soloists.